Hi guys! It is the Sammie Nicole and FeeFee show, and we are back again this week. And well, first let me say Happy Easter to those of you who celebrate it, of course. And so we have a very interesting topic for you guys tonight. So, Mom, what are we going to be talking about tonight?
Is there something sour in the milk?
Ooh, is there something sour in the milk? Now, what is that supposed to mean?
Well, it means that if you're 30, over 30, and you've never been married and you don't have any children, is there something sour in the milk? Meaning that comment or stigma that society puts on women that have never been married, over 30, no children. Is there something wrong with them?
Interesting.
Now,
okay.
in my time, Generation X, when we turned 30 and we were not married, we didn't have any children, it was considered we were old maids.
Not old maids, girl.
Old maids.
Old maids. Wow. Hashtag old maids. Okay.
And something sour in the milk, meaning that there was something wrong with you.
Because you weren't married by the age of 30?
Because you were not married by the age of 30 or you didn't have any kids. And often people would say, well, you marriage material. What's wrong? But I used to hear all of these things. Of course, I was married before I was 30. But after...
When did you get married?
I got married when I was 22.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of my friends, I have classmates that got married earlier in life, straight out of high school. I was considered late as far as having a child. Most of my peers were already married and had kids by the time I had you. So I think society, the social norms, were different for Generation X than what they are for millennials.
Okay, well, I would say for millennials, I mean, I know when I converse with a lot of my girlfriends, a lot of them, they do still have that goal to want to be, married and have, well, at least married by 30. I think now with our generation, if they happen to have kids after 30, they're okay with that. But I know from just speaking with a lot of my girlfriends, they want to at least be married, or at least, if not married, engaged by 30. And then after that, after 30, then they're, content with starting their family. So I definitely still think that societal pressure is still on women. Even in, as a millennial, you definitely still feel that pressure to ultimately get married. And then now with social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, you see all of your other classmates and colleagues dating, getting engaged, getting married, and having children. Or sometimes I'm on the Shade Room and I see the Shade Room proposals or TSR proposals, and so it does kind of have you like, well, dang, you're happy for them, but you're like, okay, when is my time? I'm 25, so
Godspeed.
When will I have my proposal moment? And then with social media, you see people doing their proposal videos and how extravagant they are. So sometimes it is very easy to get caught up in the social media world, on the internet, looking at other people's proposal as they post their engagement rings and their engagement videos and engagement pictures. It does kind of make you think like, okay, I'm approaching 30 pretty soon, so when is it gonna be my time? And so that line or that quote, is there something sour in the milk, that does resonate, I think, still with my generation.
Really?
Because you do kind of wonder at times, okay, if I'm still single, yes, I'm actively dating, I'm meeting men, quality, decent men, but I'm still single. I haven't met my match yet, or my soulmate, for those of us who believe in that, or my twin flame, whatever you believe in. So it does make you kind of wonder, like, okay, is there something wrong with me? I am the common denominator. So I think a lot of women do start to think that, in their mid-20s or even their earlier 20s. You know, if you look at it, some cultures, they get married early.
Right.
You know, you have some moms, they send their daughters to college and they're like, get your BS degree, but also get your MRS degree, your Mrs. degree as well. MRS degree, yes. Get your MRS degree. Get your BS, your Bachelor of Science, and your MRS degree.
So
your
get you a husband.
Get you a husband, yes. So, you know, some mothers, you know, it's true. Wow. They don't send their daughters just to get a degree only. They also send their daughters to, you know, find a husband. So it's a lot of pressure. And then another component that you have to think about is that biological clock, you know.
But women are having babies now up in their 50s.
Yeah, look at Eva Longoria. Shout out to her. Jackson. Very beautiful Janet Jackson. You know, they're in their, you know, late 40s, early 50s, and they're having children. So it's definitely possible. But that whole, is there something sour in the milk? Is there something wrong with you because you're not married or engaged?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's still,
there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, that is still pushed upon us, even as millennial women.
And that goes out to all my millennial women. There's nothing wrong with you.
Absolutely not.
And I just think that it's God's time, and sometimes you have to be prepared for your mate and your destiny, you know, and your purpose. And then God or whatever, the universe will bring that person into your life.
Right.
God's timing is perfect. God's speed is perfect. There's nothing wrong with you that you're not married by the time you're 30 or you don't have any children. There's not necessarily something wrong with
right
you.
And another thing, I think that it's important to take full advantage of your singleness. You know, there's always room for improvement. Not to say that there's anything wrong with you, but I think it's becoming whole, and also looking at your dating pattern, because sometimes as women we get so caught up in our ego, like, oh, I'm perfect. It was all them, all my partners. But you play a role in it too. Self-inventory. Yeah, self-inventory. And you have to keep in mind, like, you are the common denominator. So if you notice you keep attracting the same type of man over and over again, I think it's imperative to step back and say, okay, you know, what am I doing? Because the last guy, this guy was just like the last guy. You know, it's the same man, just a different pair of pants. And so it makes you step back and kind of reflect, okay, what am I doing? You know, why am I continuing to attract the same type of man? So I think it's always good to take ownership and responsibility for our choices and our behavior as women. Not to, you know, let the men off the hook, but I do think it's important to look at both roles and, you know, both actions that we both play.
So that comment that is this something sour in the milk, you're an old maid, growing as a Generation X woman, I often heard my elders say that, you know, you're not married, or even after my divorce, I would hear, you know, I had an elder say to me, you know what, you're gonna get married again, you're gonna find another husband.
Like woo woo.
Like woo woo. And I started to feel some type of way. You know, do I look like, you know, I'm gonna have a problem? Finding a husband?
And then it makes it seem like you need a husband or a man to define you. You really don't.
Validate who I am.
You don't need a man to validate you or define you. It's nice to be partnered, but I don't need you to validate me. Like, I need to be able to validate myself and stand on my own. Not saying that I don't want you, or
no,
you know, but
if you want a man, you want a relationship.
Yeah,
don't say you don't want it.
You know, it's like, I want a man, and that's important to me to be partnered because that's what I personally desire. But I don't need you to define who I am. I define who I am. I set the tone for who I am. And you know, I feel like with that whole, is there something sour in the milk, or I need a man to define me? It's almost like you're putting the man up on a pedestal. Like
you're not complete unless you have him.
It's like you think that he's more important than you are, and that's not the case. You know, you're putting this man on the pedestal like he's the end all be all, and he's not. Yes, it's great to have a good man. You know, we all want that. You know, we're not gonna flex like we don't, but it's like, don't put that on a pedestal. Like you're better. Like, oh, I have to have that man. You know, and then a lot of times, sometimes in dating as women, you know, I'm not sure how it was in your generation. It probably was still the same, but I know from my experience looking at my other, you know, peers within the millennial generation, I realized that a lot of times, sometimes we're just happy to be able to say we have a man. He doesn't even have to be all that great.
There
you know, we don't even have to be that doggone compatible. But just the
I
fact
got a man.
Just the fact that we can be on, you know, Instagram or Snapchat, like, man, babe, hey, love babe, babe bought me this, babe took me here, babe did that. You know, just being able to flex on the gram and get those likes and have people like, ooh, she got a man.
She got a man.
Yeah,
they doing this and
right.
They doing it. But that's how society has programmed us. We want to be, not only do we want to be validated, but we want to feel like that we fit in.
Right,
know?
and we want to prove to the world, like, hey, world, look, somebody thought I was good enough. Somebody thought I was worthy of love. Look, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that kind of touches on self-esteem too.
It does, and being secure with who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to be secure. But as a Generation X, I would never say that to my millennial women. Oh, you not married? Oh, what's wrong with you? Well, are you dating? You know, like I said, when I was young and my, you know, as a Generation X in my 30s and early 20s, you know, my elders would actually say that to you and make you feel like, you know, you were inadequate.
Yeah, and it's really disheartening, and I feel like we need to change that ideology, passing that down from generation to generation, because it gives a perception that you're not complete without a man.
Right.
That you need that to validate you. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can, I mean, let's be honest, you can still live a happy and fulfilling life without a partner if that's what you want to do.
And I think that's why.
And there's nothing wrong with it if that's what you want to do.
And I feel that's why a lot of women in my generation got married so early, regardless of if they thought that it was a healthy relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 19 and 20, you know, they were married straight out of high school, young, you know, hadn't had an opportunity to enjoy themselves and enjoy their lives. And even with me getting married at 22. So I think that society, the pressure of society had a lot to do with that. You know, I want to be married because everyone in my immediate family, my aunts and my uncles, they were all married. So I saw.
Were they happily married?
Now, I don't know.
That's the real tea, true tea. You know, you got a lot of people who are married, but they're not happy. They're not with their soulmate.
Some of the relationships were not
compatible
healthy.
with. Yeah, they were in toxic marriages. You know, so that's another thing.
But they got married because that's what society
was expected of them.
That's what was expected of them. And so I think now with you guys, with the millennials, you all are doing things. You all are going to school now. You all are buying property,
houses, traveling the world.
You're traveling the world. You know, you all, the exposure to different things is different now than what it was for me. So I would never try to, you know, make someone feel inadequate as a woman, as a Generation X woman to a